Good morning, all. Good morning, all of you. Thanks for attending this special session for Class 12 Term 1 Board Exam preparation. First, we'll start discussing the syllabus. What syllabus you have for your Term 1 examination? There is a first one. Then, after that, we'll discuss the content in this Term 1 examination. Then, after that, we'll discuss the strategy to score out and out marks in this term 1 board examination. So only three parts. First one will discuss the syllabus of the term 1 examination, and then second we'll discuss the lessons and all those things, and third one will discuss the strategy to score out and out marks in this examination. So here you can see on your screen the term 1 syllabus. You have section A, reading comprehension, 2 unseen passages you are going to get, and it is for how many marks? Ravi, can you confirm for how many marks you are going to get the reading comprehensions?
14, sir.
14 marks, correct. And then section B, you have creative writing skills, and it is for total 8 marks. And then section C is literature portion, it is for 18 marks. So altogether you have 40 marks for this term 1 examination. It has 3 sections, and total it is for 40 marks, and ASL already we have completed. So those 10 marks will be added after completion of your term 1 examination, and we will upload those marks in the CBSE portal. So this is the term 1 syllabus. The entire syllabus is displayed on your screen. Now let us discuss the strategy of each and every section of this paper. Without going into the question paper, first let us discuss the strategy, and then we'll open the question paper, one question paper, and then I'll explain how to solve all those questions and how to score out and out marks. So this is the first part over. This is the syllabus, because some of you sent me messages yesterday that, sir, whether this poem is included, whether this lesson is included, or whether this short story is part of term 1 syllabus. So let us have a complete clear cut information what is actually in your syllabus. So in section A, you have reading comprehensions. You have 2 unseen passages. The first one is unseen passage based upon factual, description, or literary, discursive, or persuasive passage. That is one passage you are going to get, and that is for how many marks? Ravi Sagar, can you tell me how many marks is the first passage?
8 marks, sir.
It is 8 marks. And you have second passage which is on case based unseen or factual passage. That means you will get one more unseen passage where there will be a lot of diagrams or pictures or information will be presented in the pictographical representation. That means they will give you bar chart, or they will give you tree diagram, or they will give you some other kind of information with pictures, or they can even mix the writing part with the pictures. And for the second passage, how many marks are allotted, Ravi Sagar?
6.
6 marks are allotted for the passage 2. So in total for the section A, how many marks, Ravi?
14 marks, sir.
14 marks are allotted for section A. Now let us come to section B. Sinchana, can you hear me? Sinchana, tell me what is the heading given for section B?
Writing tasks and long writing tasks.
It is creative writing skills. That means in section B, you have creative writing skills and you don't have grammar. So under creative writing skills, you have short writing tasks and long writing tasks. So what are the short writing tasks given to you, Sinchana?
Notice writing and classified advertisements.
Right. So you have 2 short compositions. One is notice writing and second one is classified advertisements. And for how many marks you are going to get these 2, Sinchana?
3 marks.
Good. So short composition you have for 3 marks. Now let us come to the long writing task, or we call it as long composition. And what are the long compositions you have, Sinchana?
Letter to an editor and article writing.
Right. Letter to an editor, giving suggestions or opinions on issues of public interest, and you have article writing. And for how many marks you are going to get one of these long compositions, Sinchana? 5 marks. So total you have 8 marks for this section. And what is the name of the section? Section B, creative writing skills. You have short compositions, notice writing, advertisements for 3 marks, and long composition, anyone they can give, either they can give letter writing or letter to an editor or article writing for 5 marks. So total you have for section B 8 marks. Now let us go to the section C. In section C you have literature part. So what includes in your literature part? Literary, prose, poetry extracts, scene text to assess comprehension and appreciation, analysis, inference and extrapolation. To put it simple, you are going to get questions based on text to assess comprehension and appreciation, analysis, inference and extrapolation from the given below text. Akila from 12C, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Can you read what are the prose lessons for term 1 exam?
So the last lesson, Lost Spring, Deep Water.
Right, so only 3 prose lessons are part of term 1 syllabus. The first one is last lesson, the second one is Lost Spring and the third one is Deep Water. Can you read poetry? What are the poems included in term 1 syllabus, Akhila?
My mother at 66, an elementary school classroom in Islam, keeping quiet.
Right, so you have 3 poems. My mother is 66 and the second one is an elementary school classroom in Islam and keeping quiet. From your supplementary textbook Vistas, what are the short stories included, Akila?
The third level and the enemy.
The third level and the enemy. So you are going to get extracts from these prose lessons, poems and short stories, and you are going to get even literary based MCQ questions. We'll discuss further MCQ questions on for these poems and poetry, prose lessons and supplementary short stories. And for how many marks these questions are given? 11 marks for Flamingo and 7 marks for Vista. That means from your main textbook you are going to get 7 marks. Sorry, from your main textbook you are going to get the questions for 11 marks, and from your supplementary you are going to get questions for 7 marks. So total how many marks, Akila?
So 18 marks.
So 18 marks is a literature section. So theory part, I mean the term 1 board examination is going to be conducted for 40 marks. So this is the syllabus. Alright, okay. Now, as I told you, the second one is we'll discuss step by step what is actually in section A, what is in section B and what is in section C. Now if you see section A, I'll show you the question paper, but by that time let us discuss for a few minutes. The question paper, the moment you open the question paper, you need to read some instructions given on the top of the question paper. So let me share the question paper also so that it will be easy for you. So this is your sample question paper. Yesterday I shared, downloaded from the CBSE website. See, there are so many guidebooks are available in the market, or so many question papers are available in the market for English subject, but this is a question paper uploaded by CBSE and I have downloaded from the CBSE website, official sample question paper for coming English examination. So first let us go through this structure of the question paper. You have 90 minutes, at least you must be aware, you have 90 minutes to complete 40 marks examination. Now let us go to the instructions first. The question paper contains 3 sections, already we discussed. Section A, reading, has 18 questions. Attempt a total of 14 questions as per specific instructions for each question. So in entire section A, you are going to get 18 questions, but you have to attempt only 14 questions. But if you further divide the question number 1, you are going to get, here you can see, based on your understanding of the passage, answer any 8 out of the 10 questions by choosing the correct option. That means, though you have to attempt 14 questions in section A, but if you further divided that section into 2 parts, for question number 1 and question number 2, first question you are going to get how many questions? 10 questions, and out of 10 questions you have to write only 8 answers. Then another passage you are going to second passage you are going to get, based on your understanding of the passage, answer any 6 out of the 8 questions by choosing the correct answer. So second passage you are going to get 8 questions, and out of 8 questions you have to write only 6 questions. So total here 8 plus 6, 14 questions in section A. Because in pre-board examination, some of you, I don't say everybody, but some of you, what you did it, you have written 14 questions, but not like 8 questions in the section question number 1 and 6 questions in the question number 2. You have written 14 questions. Some of you have written all 18 questions. That will discuss into the later part. That's strategy for writing exam. That is in later part. Now coming to section B, writing skills has 12 questions. Attempt a total of 10 questions as per the specific instructions for each question. Now let us go to the section B. So writing skills, here it starts writing skills. So answer any 4 out of the 5 given questions given with reference to the context below. The president of RWA Chevalur Heights Kozhikode has to put up a notice to inform residents about a power cut of their residential area. So it is about notice writing. So they have not given notice like we discussed earlier, like a format of a notice might be given and there will be blanks and you have to fill up the blanks, but in the sample paper it is completely different. Okay, Ravi, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Is it clearly visible screen?
Yes, sir.
So if you see the structure of the questions, they have not complicated the question paper setups and they made it very simple. They have given a piece of information about notice writing, and the question, if you observe, select the appropriate title for the notice. So it is very simple. Earlier I also thought the question paper would be very confusing, but they made things very easy. So they will give you such kind of a question. Answer any 4 out of 5 questions. So section B also further divided into many subsections. So that is question number 3. And then if you come to question number 4, answer any 6 of the 7 questions. That means question number 3 is about notice writing and advertisement, and question number 6 is about article writing or letter to editor. So here you can see question number 4, answer any 6 of the 7 questions given with reference to the context below. Venu is a member of Coexistence, a social club that actively promotes animal rights and care. He has to write an article emphasizing the need for prevention of cruelty to animals and peaceful coexistence between animals and human beings. So they have given article. That means either they give you article or they may give you letter to editor, and you have to answer to this question. So this is about section B, and in total you have to write in section B. You need to read the instructions first. Section B writing skills has 12 questions. Attempt a total of 10 questions. But again those 10 questions are again subdivided in question number 3 and question number 4. Then come to section C. So now we have to discuss a little about section C, because some of you are having a lot of confusion about the section C part. So if you open the section C, from here it starts like literature part. The section C is further divided into subsections like question number 4, question number 5, question number 6, question number 7, question number 8 and question number 9. There are total of 30 questions in the section. Attempt any 26 questions from the subsection 5 to 9. So you need to clearly know that these are all questions given, 30 questions are given, and attempt only 26 questions. But again if you go subsection wise, you need to read the instructions carefully. Question number 5, read the given extract to attempt questions that follow. That means all these questions will come from extracts, except maybe last question. We will go to that question. So question number 5, you see, I have nothing else to do, he mutters, looking away, go to school. So can anybody tell me from which lesson this lines are given? Last spring. Last spring. Written by whom?
Anees Jain.
Anees Jain. So they'll give extract from your textbook, from your prose lesson. In your classrooms, I forced you to read the text in the classroom and in online and offline classes, because you have to understand that the text directly they will take from your textbook, the lines from your textbook, and they will give you and they will ask you some questions. So that was the reason why I forced you to read the text in the classrooms. Now if you see here question number 5, there is no options like they have given 4 questions and you have to attend 5 questions. Whatever questions they have given, you have to attempt. There is no choice in question number 5. Now come to question number 6. Read the given extract to attempt questions that follow. Tiny vestiges of the old terror would return, but now I could frown and say to that terror. Can anybody tell me from which lesson this piece is given?
Deep water.
Deep water. The writer?
William Douglas.
William Douglas. So again, there is no option or choice for you. You have to attempt all the questions under this question 6. Now let us go to the question number 7. Read the given extract to attempt question. That means they have given 2 extracts from prose, and now from question 7 they have given the extract from poetry. Let us see. The tall girl with her weighed down head, the paper skimming boy with rat's eyes, the stunted unlucky head. Can anybody tell me from which poem this verse or lines?
Elementary school.
An elementary school classroom. Can anybody tell me the name of the poet?
Stephen Spender.
Stephen Spender. Right, and there is no choice for you. You have to attempt all the questions. Read the given extract to attempt questions that follow. Now come down to question number 8. Read the given extract to attempt questions that follow. He said I was happy. That made my wife kind of mad. But he explained that he meant the modern world is full of insecurity, fear, war, worry, and all the rest of it, and that I just want to escape. Well, who doesn't? Everybody I know want to escape, but they don't wander down into the any third level at Grand Central Station. Can anybody tell me the name of the short story?
Third level.
Third level. Written by
Jack Finney.
Jack Finney.
Jack Finney. And you have again, there is no options like a choice. You have to write answers to all the questions. Now come to question number 9. Attempt the following. From question number 51 onwards, you can see, in keeping quiet, the poet does not want. So from question number 9, question starts from question number 51 to question number 60. That means 10 questions you are going to get directly from the literature part without extract. So if you analyze this section C, total section C is allotted for how many marks? Can anybody remember and give me quickly? How many marks total section C, literature part?
18.
18 marks. In that 18 marks also, how many for the main textbook?
11.
From supplementary?
7.
Right. So, right, correct. So, from if you take the question number from section C, question number 31 to 60, that means you have 30 questions, and in each and every question there is no instruction. If you want to attempt the questions, you can attempt the questions, or if you don't want to attempt the questions, you can leave the questions. But in total, out of 30 questions, you have to select 24 answers or 26 answers. Out of 30 questions, you have to attempt 26 answers. So this is about the literature part. Now let us go with the step by step. As I told you, we'll analyze each and every lesson. It is easy if everybody take participation. Right. So we'll go with first lesson onwards. Can anybody tell me the name of the first lesson in your main textbook?
The last lesson.
Good. The last lesson. And name of the writer? Last lesson. Name of the writer?
Alphonse Daudet.
Alphonse Daudet. Now listen. If there is any possibility, then keep a book and write down the information which we are going to discuss. Of course, I will upload this video after completion of this class for other students who are not attending, but it is better if you keep a book or English notebook or whatever piece of paper you take and note down the points which we are going to discuss further. First one is write the name of the lesson and name of the writer, or name of the poem, name of the poet, name of the short story, name of the writer of the short story. Quickly, so that it's a kind of a revision, because you must know the name of the writer and name of the lesson. Then only you will get confidence about the content of that particular lesson or poem or the short story. Bhuneshwar, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Alright, now tell me, have you completed reading the last lesson text fully?
Yes, sir.
Right, so out of these students who are attending online class, tell me one or give me name of one student, or you come forward, who has read the text completely? The first lesson, the name is sarcastically last lesson. Who has read the entire text? Right, Ankita. Ankita, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Alright, now see, Ankita and I will be talking regarding the first lesson, the last lesson, and now second lesson also, like one of you have to participate. So one student will participate for one lesson or one poem or one short story, so that we'll complete the entire revision of the text within 10 minutes. Then we'll go to the strategy of question paper. So it is 7:56, so 10 minutes allotted for the revision of the entire lesson. Ankita.
Yes, sir.
Now I will be asking few questions and you have to give answer to those questions. Let us start. Others also you can note down. Tell me, who is the writer of the last lesson?
Alphonse Daudet.
Right. Now can you summarize the first lesson quickly?
Sir, it's about the last lesson of the French where the M. Hamel was timed and the Franz was going through the bulletin board and he did not pay attention to that because all the bad news came from that bulletin board. When he reached the school, he found out that it was very quiet. Although it seems to be bustle in everything, but that day it was quiet. But he saw his classmates from the school window, and when he reached there, the M. Hamel was not yet started, but the M. Hamel told that we are about to start. And after that, they were doing the rules of participles. First, they did the grammar. The M. Hamel, Franz noticed that some of the villagers were sitting at the last bench. And one Hauser was there who was holding some old primer of the basic language, and it was, according to the France, it was their own way to pay respect to that M. Hamel who spent 40 years of their service and patriotism we can also say.
Good.
After that, M. Hamel asked Franz about the participles, and then he was not able to respond very nicely. And M. Hamel asked it was not at all his fault because his parents used to send him to the sawmill for cutting woods to get extra money. And M. Hamel also used to asked him for watering his flowers at the garden, or he used to give him holiday when he is going for the fishing, etc. And at last when the church bell rang, he said, "Vive la France," and he said that language is most important because as the people are enslaved, it is their language who helps them as the key to their prison. And at last it concludes as the "Vive la France," and he said that the school is dismissed.
Right, good, very good, Ankita. Now, on your screen, I suppose you can see this extract from the last lesson, Ankita.
Yes, sir.
Right, now everybody, one extract we will take from one lesson and we will complete that one. Remaining you have to practice from your side. So Ankita will participate. Now I'll read. Multiple choice questions based on an extract. Poor man, it was in honor of this last lesson that he had put on his fine Sunday clothes, and now I understood why the old men of the village were sitting there in the back of the room. It was because they were sorry too that they had not gone to school more. It was their way of thanking our master for his 40 years of faithful service and of showing their respect for the country that was theirs no more. So the first question, anybody, whoever knows the answer, you can respond quickly. Why does the narrator refer to Mr. Hamel as poor man? 4 options are there.
Third option.
C.
Option
C.
C. He feels sorry for M. Hamel as it was his last French lesson. Good. Now come to the second question. Which of the following idioms might describe the villagers' act of attending the last lesson most accurately? A. Too good
till
to...
too late.
Which one is the correct?
Second option.
Second option B. Too little too late. Is it right? Others?
Yes, sir.
Alright. Now, question number 3. Choose the option that might raise a question about M. Hamel's faithful service. What is the correct answer?
C. Option C.
Option C. So, M. Hamel often sent students to water his flowers and gave a holiday when he wanted to go fishing. Now, question number 4. Choose the option that most appropriately fills in the blanks for the following description of the given extract. Oh. Read. So this is given exactly from your textbook. Which option is correct?
Option A.
Option A. Can you read?
The villagers and the children sat in class, forthing with their old master a graceful togetherness. In that moment, the classroom stood still. It was France itself, and the last French lesson, a desperate hope to hang on to the remnants of what they had known and taken for granted, their own country.
Right. Is it correct? Others? What about others?
Yes, sir.
Right. So it is clear that you have not even opened the first
Sir,
extract.
Sir, I think it's option because it should be identity, their own identity.
D, sir.
Option D.
D.
What about Ravi?
But I didn't see the other two options.
Right. So there are two more options. It is option D. So at least today you have started going through the paper. So what I mean to say is, you need to first have the content in your mind, summary of the entire lesson, and then you have to practice the extracts supplied in this. So after completion of this class, do that. I'll do for one lesson or one poem or one short story so that you will know how to practice. Now coming back to my part is, Ankita, are you there? Ankita?
Yes, sir, I'm
Right. So first you have to note down the name of the lesson, name of the writer. Though it looks silly, but you will remember if you do this practice at least one day for exam. Next one is the summary you have to remember, and third part is, can you tell me the characters in that story? Last lesson, Ankita.
Yes, sir. It was M. Hamel, France, and some other peoples like Hauser and the blacksmith, the watcher with his apprentice, like.
Alright, so you need to know at least the characters in the particular story, because they may give you a dialogue and they may ask you who said this dialogue or who said this dialogue to whom. So you need to know about the characters of the particular story. Okay, and pinpointedly they may sometimes ask you a question like, what was written on the bulletin board which made everybody to look at the bulletin board, Ankita?
So it was written that the Prussia had defeated the France, and from the stories Alsace and the Lorraine, the next day the German language will be taught, and the M. Hamel had to leave the country next day.
Right. And what is the meaning of Viva la France?
Live long, sir.
Hmm?
Live long, France.
Long live France. Viva la France means long live France. Now see here, I'll just take one minute to complete this part, then we'll go to the next lesson. Here you can see, which of the following idioms might describe the villagers' act of attending that last lesson most accurate. See, they have not given anything from the text. It is not, I can't say it is out of context, but you need to know the idioms also and phrasal verbs also. So which fits most suitable to this one is too little, too late. And after completion of reading this one, if any practice, the answers also given at the end of the lesson. I mean this extract. So let us see the answers also. So they have given many extracts. You can see here answers for this. Question number 1, question number 2, question number 3, question number 4. So what is that question? Question number 2. So what is the right option for the question number 2? Option B. So you practice it. Without practicing, you may write exam. I don't say that you may fail in the examination, but you don't get out and out marks. Okay, fine. So thanks, Ankita. Next lesson is last spring. Who wants to narrate or who wants to share? Last spring. Ankita from 11th. Ankita?
Yes, sir.
Alright. So who wrote the last lesson?
Last lesson was written by Alphonse Daudet.
Right. So in continuation to that, now tell me, who wrote Last Spring?
Anis John.
Right. What are the subtitle of this lesson, or what is the subtitle of this lesson?
One is about the rat picking and the another is about the bundle mating.
Right, that is absolutely correct. But if you read the lesson last spring, there is one more subtitle: Stories of Stolen Childhood. What is the subtitle?
Stories of the stolen
Or you
childhood.
can call it as a tagline of the story last spring: Stories of Stolen Childhood. And it has how many stories?
Two stories.
Two stories. And what is the first story? Name?
It is about the rat picking of Sahibi Alam.
There is a title for that, no? There is one title.
I forgot.
Scorching for gold in the garbage is correct?
Sometimes I
Yes.
find a
So
penny in the
sometimes I find rupee in the garbage.
Sometimes I find a rupee in the garbage. And what is the subtitle? What is the title for the second story?
I want to drive a car.
I want to drive a car. So you need to be very particular about these kind of questions, because theory answers is different and MCQ answering is different. Okay, Ankita, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Tell me the first story about Sahibi Alam.
Sir, the story starts with the Sahibi Alam saying that sometimes I find the rupee in the garbage, and where the author asked, why did not you go to school? The Sahibi Alam told that there is no school in my locality. When the officials made one, he will go. And after some time, after a few days, the Sahibi Alam went to the author and asked, is your school ready? Then he told no, like it was some kind of hollow advice. The author told that it was some kind of hollow advice, and after that it starts with that of the rat picking, where Sahibi Alam came from the Dhaka of the island, where due to the storm his house was fully destroyed, and they came to the cities in search of the livelihood for their survival. And they live in the Simapuri, which is there in the Delhi, peripheral part of the Delhi, where most of the refugees came and settled. And their houses are preferred to be as the transit homes, because whenever they find the means of survival, they set up their tents. And the children are equally part of the rat picking as their parents, but their mean of rat picking are different. For the children, it is means of survival. It is the wonder, but for the parents, it is the means of survival. The Sahibi Alam, the meaning of Sahibi Alam was the Lord of Universe, but the author, but he did not know that, because if he known, it would be completely opposite, because Sahib was doing rat picking and his name was Lord of Universe. And after a few days, he found he did not have a pair of shoes. The authors found that there is a group of the children who comes in the morning and they disappeared in the noon.
Correct.
And at last, the story concludes with that he was working for a milk tea stall, where he was carrying the steel canister. But according to the author, it was more heavier than that of the bag of rat picking, because the Sahib is no longer his own master. And the Sahib told that he is working for the tea stall and he get rupees 800 along with his meals. And the story concludes.
Good, very good, Ankita. Right, now one or two questions from my side. Whether the narrator of the story and the woman who spoke to Sahibi Alam both are same or different?
They are different.
So Anis Jung is not the narrator of the first story?
No, she is the narrator. Sorry.
Right, so Anis Jung and the narrator in the story both are same. Right. Next one is next question to Ankita is, why did Sahibi Alam started working as a boy in a tea stall?
Maybe because it will be not rat picking will not be sufficient for his family to meet their daily lives of survival, to get enough meal to stomach. That's why he got engaged in tea stall, because he get paid of rupees 800 along with his daily meals.
Right, good. Now let us go to the second story about Mukesh. Can you narrate, Ankita, quickly?
Yes, the story begins with that Mukesh wants to be a motor mechanic, although his parents worked as a bandal making in the Firozabad. And it starts, the Mukesh told the author to, and he took her to his home, which was with the stinking lanes, and it was not meant properly. In the house, there was one his eldest brother wife who was with his whale, and she was cutting the vegetables. And when the Mukesh came there, he just ran behind the broken wall to put on his whale as the custom demands. After that, it starts with that the house is his father is no, he has nothing except he made a house. According to the author, the tone was optimistic because he has the roof over his head, which someone does not have the roof. And at last,
At last, he believed
At
that.
last
Continue, Ankita.
it concludes as the
He believed that one day
he will be a motor mechanic.
he would become a motor mechanic. Now we'll just solve one question, Ankita.
Yes, sir.
Now see the question number 1 here. After this, the smile dream looms like a mirage amidst the dust of streets indicates that his dream was option A reality yet seemed distant, lost in the sea of dust, illusory and indistinct, hanging in the dusty air. Which one would be the most appropriate option? Anybody can answer.
So it will be option C because marriage means illusion.
So it would be option C, illusory and indistinct. So question number 1, let us see the right answer. Question number 1 is C. So you have to practice, at least you should have an glance about all these things, because if CBSE has given these extracts, most probably they may include these extracts in the question paper. Good, Ankita. Now let us go to the next lesson, deep water. Who wants to communicate or who wants to share deep water lesson? Deep water. Anybody? Right, again Ankita, all 12th A students only participating. 12th C, what happened? Still sleeping? Wait 1 second, wait Ankita. Bhuneshwari are, there are so many students, no? They are in class 12th C also. Okay, fine, don't want to waste time. Ankita, explain please.
Sir, it's about the William Douglas and it's fear of water, hydrophobia. It starts with the YMCA pool where he learned to swim. It describes the YMCA pool as it is 2 to 3 feet deep at the shallow end and it is about 9 feet deep at the other. And it's also a phase that his mother keeps explaining about the drowning experiences, but he said that the YMCA pool is safe. He had a terror of water because when he was 3 to 4 years old, he went with his father at the California where he had some drowning experiences, and his father laughed not because of he want to mock about his son inability of swimming, but something else. And after that, he spent 5 days, 3 to 4 hours in swimming. And one day he was alone in the pool, and when some 18 years old chap, he came and threw him into the pool. And he first thought that he had some strategy. He first thought that when his foot touched the bottom, he will jump and came to the float, and after that he will come to the shore side. But he was not able to do that, and he has some yellow water, like he was surrounded by some yellow water. And after that, after a few hours, he came at the top, but sometimes vomiting and like he had a ache in his stomach. He described his feelings as the bursting lungs, stomach pain, etc. And when he came, he had a terror of water, and he has no much courage to go back to that pool and learn to swim. After a few days, he again tried, and he set up a coach where 3 to 4 hours he got a pair of water mates to help him to swim. and his coach helped him, where there was a rope turned around him, which is connected to that pulley as given in the text.
Correct, go ahead.
And after that he learned, but he was not sure that whether he has overcome all his fear, and so he went to the new hemisphere, like some names are given, new hemisphere, Stampland Island, etc., to know whether his fear is completely gone or not. Sometimes he gets a few fear, like a small amount as given, but he will address it, like want to terror me come, like he would address that fear, but and the fear will be gone. And at last he said that he experienced that the terror of water is completely gone from his mind, and he said that this experience of happiness will be experienced by only person who has some terror, and he overcome it with his own. And the story ends.
Right, very good. So the main theme of the story is how to overcome the fear or terror in the mind. So that is about the deep water. Now you practice the questions, and now let us go to the poetry. Poetry is not that much difficult, so we'll complete the poetry very quickly. The first poem is My Mother at 66, written by Kamala Das. Okay, so what is the story of this poem? Anybody likes to quickly summarize? My Mother at 66. Again, Ankita. Others are just listening. That means they are first time they are. Okay, right, fine. Ankita, quickly do it.
So the story starts with when the Kamala Das went to his parents' house, and when she was returning from her parents' house to Cochin airport, her mother was accompanying her, sitting beside her. She saw her mother sleeping with an open mouth, and he compared her with that of her trots because she was pale, colorless, dull, and Asian like that of the trots, as mentioned in the poetry. She realized that her mother is getting old, and she wanted to get rid of that bad thought, and she wanted some distraction. To get distracted, she looked outside, where although the trees which was stationary, it seemed as if it was running like sprinting, and the children coming out of their houses, which is described as married children spilling out of their house.
Right. So at the end of the poem, what happened? She was hopeful that she would see her mother back, or when she returned. Okay, that is about the poem. In poetry, you need to be careful not only about the content of the poem, but you should be careful about the figure of speech used in that poem also. Simile, metaphor, and all those things. Now let us go to the second one, an elementary school classroom in a slum. So many of you asked me, like it was little difficult to understand the poem, but let us see if anybody wants to explain. Ankita, you would like to explain the poem also?
Yes, right.
Alright, go ahead.
Sir, it's about the elementary school which is set up in a slum area, where the children studying there, it's described every children, like one is inherited with some genetic disorders of his father. Instead of getting luxury from his father, he getted a disease as a heritage. And one is described as a paper seeming boy who was thin due to the malnutrition, and the another is described as his eyes was full of greed and he wanted to achieve everything. And the another one was described who was sitting at the last of the slum area. He was distracted from his lesson and he was looking outside the squirrel's den. And after that, the walls of the slum area was classified as the soul creams because it was untidy. And there are some charts of Shakespeare's, etc. And the Shakespeare's head was described as bald and the sun rising at the horizon, etc. But for these children, these are useless because there was also a map. But for these children, these are irrelevant because according to them, the world is what they see outside their classroom window. So the poet wants the readers or the inspectors to look forward to these children and help them to go through the green or the white or green leaves, means go through the woods or the nature, so that they develop a keen of knowledge and to make them the map relevant thing instead of irrelevant.
Good, Ankita, good. Next one. Other than Ankita, can anybody try to explain keeping quiet, or you want to continue to keep quiet in the revision class? Anybody? Any other student would like to explain keeping quiet poem? So, Sayan, go ahead quickly.
Yes, sir. Sir, I am audible.
Yes, you are very much audible. Continue.
Sir, keeping quiet is about the introspection and silence. So it discuss about the self introspection and silence. How the earth face lot of. So wait a minute.
Okay, it's okay. I'll explain. It's not because it's already 8:20. Let us.
Not getting the words.
No problem. No problem. No. At least you tried. See, Keeping Quiet poem talks about the human greediness, how human have spoiled this entire earth. In the beginning of the lines, he said that you have to keep quiet. Like if you want to read exactly that, he asks us to remain calm for 12 seconds or 12 minutes or 12 months. Okay, till he count 12. So it is a human who has caused problems to this planet Earth, and he wants to tell, or he wants to communicate a message through this poem to the human beings that if we don't stop this kind of cruelty towards the earth and the fellow human beings, a day may come that the earth will not be a place for suitable for living. So he requested us to develop brotherhood. He requested us to develop harmony among ourselves so that we can sustain living on the planet Earth. So it promotes peace in the poem. So that is the main story about the Keeping Quiet poem. It doesn't mean that you have to keep quiet in the classroom. So this is about the Keeping Quiet poem. Now there are two short stories are there. Quickly let us complete. What is the name of the first short story?
The third level.
The third level. So now at least if you are in one level, anybody other than Ankita can explain the third level story? Anybody? Third level. At least tell me who is the writer of the third level?
Jack Finney.
Jack Finney. So Bhuvaneshwari, would you like to try?
So not that confident.
Alright. Anybody? Ankita, would you like to explain?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead quickly.
So the third level is about the Charlie who wanted to escape from the harsh realities of his present after the war, and he wanted to go back to 1894 before the two deadliest wars occurs in that time. It's about that when he the stamp collection is also one of his hobby to escape from his harsh realities. And he described that one time when he was returning from the subway, he went to the third level, and he described the Grand Central Station as one of the tree which expand in his branches. And he said that at the third level, he first realized that he came to the second level, but at the third level there are different small booths of information center. And as soon as he knew that he was in the third level, he wanted to put 2 tickets of the Galesburg, which was described as orthodox and upper class. But he was knowing that he would have sufficient money for putting the tickets. But when he found that the currency was old, which is not the same as what he was using at that time. So, and the booth who was the man told that if you wanted to cheat us, then you will be in jail. And so he escaped to get the money. And next day he brought some he withdrew $300 from the bank and converted it into some less than $200. He got some losses, but still he wanted to go to the Grand Central Station to put the ticket. But after that he did not find the third level. So he told all this to his psychiatrist friend, that is Sam, and Sam was not able to believe that. But after some time, Sam wrote a letter to his grandfather, I think, that Louisa, his wife, and the Charlie not to stop searching for the third level because it actually exists according to the Sam. And he withdraws some $800, which is sufficient for his hay business, which he wanted to establish at that time. And the story concludes.
Right, fine. So finally, one question before we go to the next lesson. Whether the story told by the central character, is it reality or it's just an imagination out of his mind? Ankita?
Imagination.
It's not a real story?
No, sir, I think it's
right, fine. Others also find out, because this is a complicated question. Even after reading the story also, sometimes you may get doubt that whether the story told by Charlie from the third level writing a letter by his friend to Charlie, whether everything was out of his mind or is it real? Anybody? Can you explain whether it is real or who is this? Is it real or it's imagination again?
He also has food, sir.
Little louder, Harsh.
Sir, he has letters.
He has a letter, but in the story, if you understand in one angle, even that letter also it's imagination. Okay, you have whole day to think about it and find out the answers. So there is one more lesson, the enemy, which is about an American war prisoner. Who would like to explain? Ankita?
Yes, sir.
Continue with the last, what do you call this one, the enemy also, so that we'll complete and then we'll go to the third part. That is my part. I'll take that one. Ankita.
Sir, it's a long lesson, but to describe it,
short.
sir, it's just about the American War, Japanese and the American War, where Dr. Sadao Hoki, who was doctor as well as the Japanese, and his house was set up at the shore area, and at one day he saw that one prisoner of war of America, he was shot, and he came to the shore. And when he realized, he found that he was bleeding because of the shot, and some gunpowder, blackish gunpowder was there across some description was also there. Lower part of the right arm, some description was there. And after that he treated as a doctor, although his wife, Hena, also helped him to treat him by giving some anesthesia, etc. And when he treated him and when he was recovered, the general, there was also some part of general where he told the general about that POW man. The general told that he will appoint some
Send
man
some assassinations.
and he will kill him. Yeah. And he will kill that man during the night time. But it did not happen. And after a few times, Sadao Hoki, he told that POW man to say there was one island near to go to that island, and if and he gave him some clothes and some food, which should be sufficient for him. But he told him to catch only the Korean buses, Korean ships, and he told to signal him twice if there is some food which is not sufficient for him, and once if the food if he was still there and the food is not sufficient, then he had to eat the raw fish. And after that he did not receive any signal, and so he thought that the man had gone.
Very good, Ankita. You have revised the entire portion for your classmates, so at least your classmates can give a big round of applause or send some kind of emoji in chat, so that at least she will feel little happy, because she entirely I can say single-handedly completed and revised the entire syllabus. Can you all at least once? And Ankita, one question to you from my side. Can you hear me, Ankita?
Yes.
Why did the general fail to send assassins to kill that POW, prisoner of war?
Because he was diseased. He has some gallbladder disease, and he was soon to be operated, because the Dr. Sadao Hoki said that twice there was an attack something, and if third time only once it is possible. So
he had forgotten.
He was diseased, and the person
he had forgotten, right? So this is about the entire literature portion, the summary, and only thing is now you have to practice these extracts from the poetry, prose and supplementary short stories. Then only you will understand whatever we have discussed in this classroom. It is 8:29 from my side. Then I'll take 10 minutes more for question paper. This is actually my part which I would like to discuss, and where I would like to give you some tips with that you may score out and out marks. Let us come to the question paper. Yesterday I shared this question paper and as well as the OMR sheet. How many of you opened that file and checked OMR sheet? You all at least know, because if you open that one, there are so many questions when you open the OMR sheet. Even Virincha also asked me that some teachers told them to mark the answers in that way. When I was explaining to him, he said no, that teacher told me to mark answers in that way, so there should not be any kind of a confusion. I will parallelly explain the strategy to write answer, I mean to select the answer, and how to mark the answer in your OMR sheet. So don't get confused. And before that, let me ask from one student, what are the instructions given by your subject teachers, other subject teachers, about answering the questions in the OMR. So parallelly we'll discuss so that we can complete very quickly. Okay, here is the OMR. One second, let me open the another. Okay, here it will be easy for you. Ravi, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Now I suppose you can see the instructions given by CBSE for the OMR, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now tell me, without looking at this page, can you tell me what are the instructions given by your subject teachers, how to fill the answers in your OMR sheet?
Yes, sir. As per our subject teachers, first we have to complete the details as such as a name, class section, and subject code. After that, we'll 20 minutes for reading time of the question paper, and after that we'll be taking the answers. If we are confident about the answer to a certain level, we'll darken that very option in the OMR sheet. And if we are completely sure that this is the right answer, we'll have to write the that option in the box provided next to the options. And if we are not attempting the question, we'll have to darken that very circle of the question.
Good, very good. Anybody has any doubts with this marking answers? Anybody has any doubt? Because see, in MCQ, it is not only testing your subject knowledge or efficiency, whatever the interpolation, whatever the words given in the term 1 syllabus, it is also about the accuracy of carrying the answer from the question paper and marking the right answer in the MCQ OMR sheet. So this is a difference. You must be knowing the answer, but when you are going to mark the right answer, your question paper answer option should come into the MCQ. If what happens in between, there will be some kind of transition period is there. It can be even a microsecond or a couple of seconds, but if your mind has no proper concentration, no practice, you know that the answer you marked in the question paper is A, but when you are bubbling or darkening the circle, you can darken the C circle. So there is a chance of committing an error. So I am going to discuss now how to write answers, especially in English subject. You can apply this strategy for other subjects also, and also how to mark answer correctly in the OMR sheet. So let us go to the English question paper. Am I clearly audible, Ravi?
Yes, sir.
Now look at here. If you see here the question paper, first passage has 10 questions. Out of that, 8 you have to answer. So there is this rule that whoever answers more than 14 questions, for example, you have answered 16 questions in section A, then what will happen? They will take only the first 14 questions. That was a standing rule, correct? Instruction, correct, Ravi?
Yes, sir.
Right. But again, if you subdivided the question paper, here you can see first question, any 8 out of 10. That means if you have marked 9 questions out of 10, then they will select only the first 8 questions. For considering, they will consider only first 8 questions. So let us mix these two topics and let me explain some tips here so that you can understand and you may score out and out marks in this section. First thing is, don't practice the scanning method here. What is scanning method? Read the questions, come to the passage and find the answers. That may not be suitable for MCQ format of this question paper. So first what you have to do is read the entire passage. Am I audible, Ravi?
Yes, sir.
Read the entire passage. See, you have to answer only for 40 marks and you have 90 minutes time. So read the entire passage first time and then come to the questions. So this is the standing rule you have to follow. Don't go to the questions first and don't read the answers. I mean passage. Read the passage first and then come to the questions. Now once you come to the question, listen carefully, read the entire question and read all the 4 options. Don't go with the answer in your mind. Sometimes it can be also wrong because the structure of the question they may give in a confusing manner. You may know the positive answer, but they may expect the negative answer. So read the entire question and read the entire options. Read 4 options patiently. With patience, you have to read the 4 options. Otherwise, what will happen? Whatever answer strikes in your mind, you will see that answer and you will put tick mark. So it is not correct form of writing answers in MCQ. So read the entire question. Now you have 10 questions. So what I mean to say that read the entire 10 questions and attempt all the 10 questions in your question paper. Ravi?
Yes, sir.
What I mean to say, don't go to the OMR part first. Read the passage, read the questions, mark answers to all the questions in your question paper. You can put tick mark on the questions. Now out of those 10 questions, 8 questions if you are very sure, then only mark those 8 answers properly in your OMR sheet. Now don't take it very simple and silly. This sometimes works. See, I have cleared all India level examination, so I follow this practice. So I would like to give this tip. Whenever you write answer and whenever you are copying that answer option from your question paper into your OMR, see, use your index finger. Keep your index finger on the answer option on your question paper and look at that answer option and then come to your OMR sheet and then look at that answer option which you want to mark with your pen. Then look back again the option answer in the question paper you have marked and look at the OMR option and then you have to bubble or you have to darken the circle. Use your fingers, okay? There is nothing wrong, there is nothing silly, but this actually works a lot because when you don't use this finger, sometimes your mind may not be pointed towards the answer option you have marked in the question paper. So by chance you can mark another option. It might have happened to many of you when you are practicing questions. Am I right, Ravi?
It has happened a few times, yes, sir.
It happened to me also. Just by margin of 2-3 answers, even though I knew those answers, but I wrongly marked in OMR. So because of that, I have missed so many competitive examination at utmost all edge, like 0.4%, 0.5%, I missed that qualifying criteria. So it happens to everybody in competitive examinations. You need to be very, very particular about this practice. Use your left finger and use your right hand, and you need to look at the both option in marked in your question paper and the option which you are going to write in the OMR sheet. So what my strategy is, first answer all the questions. Out of 10, you mark answers to all 10. Out of that, whichever question you are 100% sure, then only you mark those answers in your OMR sheet. Now coming back to my subject English, see, there will be some questions. Obviously, there will be some questions which will be quite confusing. As you have some options, you can eliminate, you can remove those questions. But there would be a chance or there would be a time where you have to mark compulsory 1 or 2 questions, otherwise you have to leave those questions. So in that during that situation, what you have to do is go with the elimination method. What is elimination method? Out of 4 options, you know that there are 2 options which are absolutely wrong. So out of those 4, you can eliminate those 2. Now there will be 2 options which are quite confusing. Generally in English that much not be a confusion, but they may be confusion in between those 2 options. Then what you have to do, read the question again. Listen carefully, read the question again and search for the keywords in the passage. If that keyword matched with your one of the options and if you feel that that is one of the right options, stick on to that, because after reading the MCQ questions, the blind rule is whichever answer first struck in your mind is 90% is the correct answer. Most of us, what we do, if you have a second thought, we'll get a second answer. But our subconscious mind works in a different way. It projects the right answer in your brain, but we have to trust it. So 90% of the cases, the first answer which struck in your mind is the right answer for the MCQ questions. So follow the elimination method. And then you have to select at least one, but you can do this only when there is no other option. Otherwise, select answers for the 8 questions and then only go with the 8 and ensure that 8 are highly correct or 100% correct, then mark that. And there would be one more situation, like practically speaking, you know answer A is correct, but you have marked answer B, and then follow the same strategy that in the box you have to write the right option. But when do you write the right option? After completion of the entire question paper. Listen carefully. After completion of the entire question paper, when you revise your answers, that means you first complete finding the answers to the question number 1, bubble it, and then you go to the second question, do the same thing, third question, all those questions. But last time, after completion of your examination, come back and revise all the answers. In case if you find that some answer you have marked wrong, then only right answer, right option like option B or A, B, C given in the box. Ravi, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So, can you revise what I said? How to mark quickly?
Yes, sir. You teach the index method, index finger and right hand method to avoid the right answer to be written wrong on the OMR sheet. You also taught the elimination method where we eliminate 2 completely wrong options, and by keywords we scan and correct the right option. And also you asked us to revise the entire OMR paper after completing the sheet.
Yeah, you would definitely get the time to revise the question paper. And see, there is one more why I told you here. You can see here there are so many instructions given here. This one, even if a candidate is satisfied with darkening the circle, this response has to be written in the box. Candidates have to reply both in a circle and in a box. Reply written in a box will be treated as final. That means even if you mark wrong answer, bubbled wrong answer, darken the wrong circle also, if you write the right answer in the box, that will be considered as final. Now see here, from here onwards there is little confusion. I would like to explain. Point number 9. If the box is empty and the response is marked in the circle, it will be considered that the question has not been attempted by the candidate. Listen carefully. If the box is empty and the response is marked in the circle, it will be considered that the question has not been attempted by the candidate. So you should mark, or you must mark, the option in the box. If the response is given in a box and the circle is left blank, reverse. If the response is given in a box and the circle is left blank, it will be considered that the question has been attempted by the candidate. Now tell me, Ravi, which is most important, darkening the circle or writing answer in the box?
Writing answer in the box.
So you can try with trial and error method in the beginning, and finally once you confirm or once you ensure that the right option is so and so, then you can write the answers in the box. Now let us see the last one point. If all the 3, that is 4 circles, box and last circle are left blank, it will be considered that the question has not been attempted. So what my point is simple. Whether your other subject teachers, if they say, you can follow, otherwise at least in English you can follow. Don't worry about marking the question which you have not attempted, but you need to ensure that the question which you want to answer should be marked properly in the OMR sheet. They are not going to deduct marks for your errors. They are going to deduct marks if you have not marked the right option. So what I mean to say, but listen carefully, don't get confused and don't confuse others. According to this, what I have understood is, you can answer all 60 questions, but you can mark only 50 answers in the boxes. Ravi, listen. Am I right? Ravi?
Yes, sir.
You understood what I said?
Yes, sir.
That means, if the box is empty and the response is marked in the circle, it will be considered that the question has not been attempted by the candidate. That means, even if you darken the circle, if the box is empty and the response is marked in the circle, it will be considered that the question has not been attempted by the candidate. But if you write the answer option in the box, then it will be considered that the candidate has attempted the question. So if you understand it in a different way, you can write answers to n number of questions darkening the circle, but you need to be very careful about the box. And one more thing is, the box is given, for example, the right option is option B. You have darkened the circle A and you have to write the right option. So the box is being used to write the option B. So if you come to a conclusion without the roundabout, the right option which you have to write in the box is final. Ravi, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
What about others? Is it clear or anybody has any confusion? Take some time. Is it clear or anybody has any confusion still? So out of 60 questions, in question paper, you can mark all answers to all the questions. Then mark the answers, then darken the circles for n number of questions. But when you want to write answer in the box, be very sure that it should not cross the limit of the number of answers you have to mark. And darken circle if not attempt it. Okay. So whatever the strategy your other subject teachers will explain, you follow that, but in English at least you follow this one, so that there is a chance of not losing marks in your English subject. Okay, let us come back to the question paper. So reading comprehension 1 is not difficult. Now what is the problem in the second one is, it will have a lot of pictographical information. Here you can see the information presented in form of a pie chart. Now listen carefully. When you have these kind of questions, you need to read and simultaneously or parallelly you have to look into the information presented in the chart. If you are reading the text once and if you are looking at the information after completion of reading the theory, then it will be quite confusing and it will take a lot of time. So whenever you are reading the paragraph, look at the chart and simultaneously you have to understand the information. Now see the questions. Some questions even yesterday also Virincha asked me when I was explaining him, when we were discussing, there are some questions which are little difficult to understand. Here if you see, which signboard would the writer have chosen for his 1992 undertaking in GB Valley? Harsh? Fourth option. But if you want to be very sure about this, you need to know how to transform the information given in words into pictures. That means they are testing about your not knowledge. The information which they have given in the lines or words, that should be transformed into your pictures. So they are testing your ability to comprehend the information in form of pictures and in form of sentences also. There is nothing difficult here. Only thing is, read the question and then observe the pictures or photographs given and try to understand what the question is asking or demanding. With that you can solve this answer without any kind of problem. Any more questions with this? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Alright. Now section B, in writing skills, we thought that they would give one format of the notice writing or something else and they would ask us to fill, but here it is simple. They have given question and they will ask you answers based upon the question. So notice writing format, if you go through it and revise the syllabus, and you will come to know the structure of the notice writing advertisement. Based upon that you can write answer. So read the question. In MCQ question paper, the most difficult part is we don't have patience to read the entire question paper, question and all the 4 options. Read the entire question paper, read all the options, then only take a decision. Don't jump into decision, don't jump into conclusions just by reading one option or 2 options. Read all the options. So now article writing, same technique you have to follow. Read the theory and practice few questions, then you will come to know how to solve the articles or working with the, literature part will come down, but this is the writing skills. Now come down to the literature part. Ankita, are you there? Ankita?
Yes, sir.
Alright. See, in literature part, you need to have subject knowledge. You need to know the entire text. You need to know about the characters. You need to know about the background of the story. Then if you have read the text once, so I tell you everybody that you have a lot of time today. You complete reading the lessons, poems and the short stories. At least give one attempt. So that what will happen, you will at least recognize who said all these things, from which lesson the extract has been given. So it is easy for you to identify answers to these questions. See here, out of 30 questions you have to answer 26 questions. So same technique you follow. Read all the questions, answer all, and then come to the OMR sheet and mark these answers. Extracts, you cannot deviate answers. Whatever the answer is given in the textbook, that would be 100% you have to select. Now last set of 10 questions, I feel it is easy to score out and out marks. If you come to 51 question to 60 questions, listen, question number 51 to 60 question, these 10 questions are actually very easy to solve. If you know at least a little information from the textbook, from the poems and prose and supplementary, it is very easy to solve. So I advise you all to complete this 10 out of 10 questions. Okay, before you go for extra, you can answer all the extracts and come down to this question number 51 to 60. Read the questions and try to write answers to all these questions, maximum answers, because these are straightforward questions, no roundabout questions, no confusing questions. They will ask you directly the question from the lesson or the text or from the poem. So it is easy for you to score marks in this last part of the question paper. Okay, and last 2-3 more tips I would like to tell you. That listen carefully. In MCQ question paper, it is not the testing of your knowledge only, it is testing your patience. See, it is now almost all 8:52. Many joined in the beginning and many left in between. In MCQ question paper, be it English or physics or chemistry, the most important quality required is patience. It is quite confusing. Somebody says no, it's not MCQ means multiple choice questions. It is like most confusing questions. The question paper setters, they would like to test your levels of patience. And sometimes you feel irritated. Sometimes you feel a lot of inconvenient because you know the answer, but that answer is not given in the options. So that is the time where you lose your patience. And that is one of the aspects of the MCQ question paper. They would like to test your patience. So my suggestion to you is that, or my tip to you is that, take less breakfast on that day. Ravi, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Take less breakfast. Less breakfast in the sense, eat required amount of food. Don't eat masala dosa, puri and all those things. You feel sleepy in the examination. So take light breakfast, but don't skip breakfast also. Take light breakfast and come to exam and write well. What is your examination timings?
11 p.m. to 1 p.m.
So you will not have time for lunch. So take proper breakfast. That should not be having a lot of oil and all those things, because if you take oily food, then automatically lose patience because you feel sleepy, or your stomach will create unnecessary problems. So take light food. So the first thing is you need to have patience. As you are, I have seen your pre-board exams. Most of you are good students, but some of you have lost marks because you don't have patience. Naturally, at this stage, at this age, you have less patience. So first, you need to develop patience, and you need to have patience to score out and out marks. Read the question paper fully. Read the question properly. Read all the options, and then only you have to answer these questions. Next tip is, what in case you have darkened the circle and you have written the answer in the box, but later you realize that your answer is wrong. What should we do? Can anybody tell me?
Sir, we have to darken the last circle. That means not attempted.
Listen. For example, question number 1, the right option. Okay, question number 1, you have read the question. You have darkened the circle A, option A, but that is wrong. Then now what you have did in the revision part at the last exam, at the last moment of examination, you have written option B in the box, but that is also wrong. Later you realized. Then what is the next step? You should not lose mark, or you should not lose that attempt of that question. So what should we do?
So to darken the last circle. Sir.
To darken the last circle, let us go to the here. Can anybody read this one? Where is that point? Point number 6. candidates are advised that first of all they should mark the response by darkening the circle. If fully satisfied, then they should write a response in a box. Purpose of giving a box is only that if any candidate wishes to change the response, the same be written in the box. Okay, but all these two attempts we failed. Wrongly darken the circle, wrongly written answer in the box. Then what we have to do? Even if a candidate is satisfied with darkening the circle, this response has to be written in the box. Candidates have to reply both in a circle and in a box. Reply written in the box will be treated as final. If the box is empty and the response is marked in the circle, it will be considered that the question has not been attempted by the candidate. If the response is given in a box and the circle is left blank, it will be considered that the question has been attempted by the candidate. So what should we do in this case? Aman?
So we have to just cross the circle and move on to the next question.
So it is considered to be attempted, correct?
Yes, sir.
No way to come out of that problem?
No, sir. Like you have written in the box, so it's the final answer. You don't have any other way.
No whiteners are allowed. Now look here. This is a circle for response, correct? You have circled option B, and for writing option you have written option B. Darken circle if not attempted. What will happen? You have written option B, written answer also option B, and then you have darkened the circle. What will happen that in that case? What will happen?
So it will not be taken into consideration.
Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
See, our purpose is to eliminate the mistakes from our side. Our purpose is, our intention is to eliminate mistakes from our side. For example, you have marked, you have darkened a wrong circle, you have written a wrong answer in the option box. But how to eliminate that error? Is there is any method to eliminate our error?
The last.
If we darken the circle, then would they consider that it is not attempted? Think about it.
Sir, but the circle and the box will be empty.
No, we have written answer in the box and we have circled, we have darkened the circle also, and then we have darkened even the last question circle also. What I mean to say is, you have written option B here, you have written option B also here, but later you come to know that both the answers are wrong. Then what will you do? If you darken this circle, question number 1 circle, will it be considered as not attempted?
Yes, sir, not attempted.
Yes.
Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
That is not having clarification. See here, if we read all these points, if you go in reverse, if all the 3 circles, if all the 3, that is 4 circles, box and last circle are left blank, it will be considered that the question has not been attempted. So in this point, if you leave all those things, then only it will be considered as not attempted. But if you have attempted, that means if you have darkened the circle, if you have written something in the box, and then if you have darkened that not attempted, they may not consider. They may not consider. See, if all the 3, that is 4 circles, box and the last circle are left blank, it will be considered that the question has not been attempted. If you do any one of that, and if you have written the option in the box, then you don't have any other choice. They will consider that the question is attempted. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
And only one way we can solve this problem is, you darken the circles and wait or ensure that the circle which you have darkened is the right option, and then the right option in the box. If you have written the right option in the box, then they will consider it that the question is attempted. Ravi?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts still?
None, sir.
Any others? Sinchana?
No, sir.
Sinchana, Shreya, Chandana?
No, sir.
Now listen.
No, sir.
I would like to conclude, it is almost till 9 o'clock. I would like to conclude this session by telling that English is very easy. I too accept it 100% without any doubt. But scoring marks in English is not so easy as you thought. Because in MCQ, the entire demographics or entire method of answering is different and difficult. So that's why I focused most of this my session on marking the right answers. You know what is right answer, but you should mark in a right way so that you should not lose marks. And even if you have wrongly darkened the circle, what are the other ways or other methods to rectify our error? Because in MCQ, in competitive examination, it is not about the right answer, it is about the wrong answer identification. Okay, Sinchana.
So what about the seating plan?
Seating plan will be displayed on the day of examination. You can check near the CBSE control room. It must be circulated or not circulated, Sinchana?
Not yet, sir.
So it will be displayed in the CBSE control room or near the CBSE control room or outside the main gate. So you should know, you will come to know where you are going to sit or in which classroom you are going to sit. That will be without any confusion. You will come to know that. Any more questions with any part of the examination, not only English? Chandana.
Sir, the Campbell paper, question number 9.
That I will look into afterwards. Okay, I will tell you that one. Aman.
Sir, but in the CBSE instructions, they have given like if you have marked the question, darken the circle and written the option that is wrong, you have to dark the last circle that will be considered as unattempted. Sir, should I send it to you, sir?
It is given in here. It is there in these instructions. Is given.
Sir, not in this one. They have sent a PDF.
You can share. You can share the PDF. See, my intention is to tell you to eliminate the human error. Even though you know the answer, and if you have not marked the right answer in the right way, then you are going to lose marks. So I am not going to explain how to write answer. I am going to tell you how to avoid error from your side, so that almost all you will score good marks in each and every subject. So you send that PDF to me. I will also go through it, and if there is any change of information, you can also come to know.
Okay.
Chandana, which question you have a doubt?
9th one, first question.
Question number 9, comprehension check. Anybody has completed this practice paper? Today after this session, at least complete 1 or 2 practice papers. This one papers is available. You can download other questions and you can answer. Chandana, read the question.
Which quote summarizes the writer's feelings about the pace of growth tourism in GV Valley?
So what is the answer given for this question in what do you call this one, marking scheme?
Sir, A.
Option A. 1 second, let me see. Question number A. We kill all the caterpillars, then complain there are no butterflies. That is the answer given, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, what is your doubt? Chandana?
Like,
tell me. Chandana?
Sir, when we get a paragraph, there is nothing like we kill caterpillars.
Listen. See, these are the questions which test your background knowledge. There is no reference about caterpillars and all those things, but it is given which quote summarizes the writer's feeling about the pace of growth of tourism in GV Valley. Now the answer is we kill all the caterpillars, then complain there are no butterflies. What does it mean? If you nip the birds, that means if you nipped only, correct? If there are no birds, you can't expect the flowers. That means these are figurative languages or quotes which are connected with the paragraph or the text given here. So you need to understand the not only summary, but you need to understand what are the words and what are the lines which are getting close or connected to the summary of the passage. So it's a background question, Chandana. Chandana?
Yes, sir, but how is this connected to this paragraph?
How it is connected to the paragraph? If you read the paragraph, he talks about the tourism, correct? There is no lack of, or there is no development of tourism in the so and so places. So the GB Valley in Himachal Pradesh is talking, and the tourism is not developing or it's not growing because of some kind of reasons. So here the writer says that, and the question is which quote summarizes. That means they may give you so many quotations and they may ask you which one is connected. You read the passage again and try to find out, and if you still have any doubt, you can talk to me after this session. Others have any doubt with the same question? Other students? Shreya? Sinchana?
No, sir, no doubt.
See, there are some questions, they are background questions. You need to have a complete comprehension, or you need to know at least have a complete understanding about the given passage. So that's why I recommend you read the passage first. Don't come to the questions and don't go to the passage. That was a method which I told you early in the beginning, but that would not suit to the MCQ format of the question paper. Any more doubts? Any more questions? Any more doubts?
Meaning of nostalgia.
Sorry?
Meaning of nostalgia.
Nostalgic, correct? You are asking? Thinking about the old days, thinking about the incidents happened in the past. Nostalgic.
Okay.
Right. Now let us conclude this session. It is almost all 9-7 from my side. I would like to tell you one more tip so that it may be helpful for you. Some of you may think that now it is not possible to read the entire text. It is not possible to practice. Some of you may be there. Some of you may believe that it is not possible to revise the entire text. It is not possible to practice a question, entire question paper. I too agree. Some of you may be so busy or don't want to do that. In that case, what you have to do is, whatever points we discussed in this video, like Ankita narrated the entire stories, entire literature part, then we had a discussion. At least after completion of this session, you watch this and then make a notes and go through that revision. See, your own notes is 100% far better than the guidebooks. If you have prepared a notes, it can be even one page also, but that gives you confidence. So if you have confidence, or if you feel confident before going any examination, 90% psychologically you are free from tension. So the most important tip is, keep your subject knowledge aside. You need to have confidence to face the exam. It is first time all over India students are going to write term 1 examination, that too in MCQ format. So most of you have confusion, most of you have lot of doubts, lot of problems to face. But let me tell you one thing, as this is the first time CBSE is going to conduct MCQ based question paper in India, they are not going to set a complicated question paper, not only in English but also in other subjects. So only thing is, you need to do in whatever way you feel confident to face the exam, and go and write the examination, and then you attempt whatever questions you want to attempt. Forget about the wrongs, mistakes, errors and all those things. You attempt whatever answers you want to attempt, whatever questions you want to write, you write, and then come out of the examination hall with a positive mind. If you don't come out of the examination with a positive mind for English exam, then what will happen? It will affect your next subject also. So the most important thing is, you do whatever you like to do in the preparation part, whatever way you feel correct to prepare, you prepare. But only thing is, before the exam you should feel confident about yourself. That is the most important aspect of this examination preparation. Aman, tell me.
Sir, should I share the screen now and listen?
Sorry?
I have that PDF.
You can share that one. We'll discuss afterwards. If there is any change of instruction, then we can you can send me and you can share in your class WhatsApp group, and you can share with your. You have shared.
Yes, sir.
Right. We'll see all those things later. Any more questions or any more doubts? Charita.
So my name it doesn't fit in the space allotted. In 10th standard, I wrote the same name I had written it in initials. Is that okay for 12 also?
You are talking about your writing name, candidate's name, correct?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I suppose this much space is not sufficient for your name.
Oh, so I thought we had to OMR plot it.
See here, the candidate's name. This is a space provided for the candidate's name. Is it not?
No OMR plotting.
See here, as per the CBSE, here you have to write the name of the candidate.
Okay, sir. That is fine.
Right.
If we were OMR, then there wasn't.
Right. Any more doubts?
No.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Right. So you practice whatever way you like to practice, whatever way you want to revise, you revise. But only thing is, you need to have confidence. Okay. So confidence is the key. It's not about your knowledge. It is about your confidence levels. If you go with confidence, automatically your brain works properly and it gives you answers. It will tell you what is right option, what is wrong answer or option and all those things. If you have no confidence, then even the right answer also looks like you feel like that is a wrong option. Okay, so this is about from my side. Aman.
So please check the toppers after the class actually.
Right, sure. So throughout the day, I took leave today. Throughout the day, I will be available for you. If you have any questions or any doubts related to English subject or for writing examination, you can send me a WhatsApp message. I would definitely respond you back. Okay. So officially, let us conclude this one. So all the best for all of you and write well exam tomorrow. I'll be there in school. I'll also try to communicate with you before examination if they allow me. Before the examination means like if I'm in the examination department or somewhere. I'll also try to come and meet you, because generally if you have another school center, we will only go there and we'll send them the students inside the examination halls. But as it is our school, our center, I may not be allowed to come near to you. So I'm just officially telling you all the best to all of you. Write well. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Right. So practice papers, practice questions, all those things, and keep in touch with me today. So,
yes.
Good day all of you. You may leave the classroom now. Good day.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye. All the best all of you. Thanks for watching this video. If you have come to the end of this video, I believe that you are interested to watch a few more videos related to the topic. So now you can check this out video or watch this one. Click this video. It will take you into another video.